Cool.
All right. Well, welcome, Joe. I'm glad we were able to set up a time to discuss the job offer that we have on the table with you.
Yeah, I am too. Thanks for having me back. Had a great time interning last summer with you, and especially working with you directly on the Terabit router project. So I think we did a good job with that one. I just saw that we actually got the contract with Horizon, so they actually bought a bunch of the routers. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it was a great deal, and I think it shows that there's a lot of potential and job opportunities with robust routers in the near future too. And just to jump right into it, I know that from the very beginning you expressed an interest in product management. I want to make sure I have that correct. And you're in product development. And the job offer is for the other division. I just building off of the fact that we won the contract. I really think there's a lot of opportunity for you to make that migration over to the other department.
That sounds great. And really what I'm interested in, so what you touched on there is just the title level of the position, whether it's an associate product manager or a product manager. The area that I'm really interested in is the business development area. I know that's an area that Robust Routers has typically hired top MBA candidates from the top 5 or top 10 schools in the past. But I do believe that my work and the presentations I did, they were very well received by some of the senior executives with Robust Routers. So I think I've shown that I possess the ability and the tenacity and the skills to be successful, whether it be in product development or business development or marketing. Anywhere I go, I'm excited to work with Robust Routers. But the area that does certainly interest me the most is the business development group.
Okay. And I do understand that. And I would do everything in my power if you chose to accept this offer to end up having you over in that department. I wanted to tell you that because you had such a successful internship, that department and myself were tremendously impressed. And that is why this job offer was made. There have been a lot of exceptions. I really wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity with us at the end of your internship and upon graduation. It went around our usual protocol where we recruit from top tier MBA schools directly. We don't normally do direct hire from internships. And so I just want to let you know that I am 100% involved in making sure that you get where you want to, and I'd like to keep you on at this company. And I thought this would be a great foot in the door.
Oh, I absolutely think it would be. Is there a timeline or a schedule that we could discuss about what the potential movement over to business development or just something that you had in mind, because you said you'd be willing to help me over there. So just I was just wondering if you had a vision or a plan for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So market statistics, and from what I've just seen in this field, the average stay in a position is about 3.3 years. And you would be coming in as a new associate product manager. I'd like to see you in that role for a couple years at least. And then you'd be in a really good position to make a lateral move.
A lateral move?
Well, if you want to get into the business development department, you could go that way, or you could also apply for a manager role, not just an associate. But that's what I'm thinking as far as timeline. So if you were to come into this company as the associate product manager, you would be in that role for a couple of years, and then you'd be in a great spot to apply to the business department.
Okay. So because I already have some experience in the product development, especially in the Terabit router group, if I were to come in the Terabit router group, coming in at a higher level, whether a manager role, is very important just for my career trajectory, and then just the projects I get to work on and my ability to help and contribute to the company. That sounds great. I've got no issues with transition over to business development in a few years, if I would be able to come in at an actual product manager position, vice and associate product manager position. And I believe that because I have spent some time already in the Terabit Router Group, I'm familiar with the product. I've done internal presentations to the company, and they were very well received. And I do believe I contributed a lot to helping with the product development and even with the new deal with Horizon. So I think my level of experience warrants coming in at a actual product manager position, vice and associate position, if I were to come in this group.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. So coming in as an internship, you would need to show experience, and I think that's why the associate level is the best spot for you. I did talk to the director, and I was able to get your salary offer at the very upper end of this category. If you were to want the manager role, you might need to take a cut back on that pay scale, because they're going to be looking at you as somebody with no experience and starting out with a lot of room for development.
But so that would be a viable answer if I was going into the business development group. But again, because I don't have experience in the business development group, but I do have a significant level of experience with the product development of especially the Terabit Router Group, because I have developed and worked on that project for some time. So I'm not inexperienced in that field. So I think it makes sense if I were to come into the business development area to come in at an associate level, whereas if I were to come into the Terabit Router Group to come in at a product manager level, because I have interned and I do have experience with that successful area.
Well, it's something that I could certainly take back to the table and see what they think about it. The offer might come back at a lower salary because you would be starting off as a new manager. You would need to build your experience and develop your responsibilities in that role. So just some food for thought. I don't know if that's something you would even consider with the amount that's on the table right now. The offer has come to you at $96,000 for the associate role. That really wouldn't change. Do you have any thoughts on that? I mean, would you rather take a bit of a more cushiony starting salary in the associate role and maybe try to apply for a manager role in another couple of years, or take a cut back because you'd be starting out as a new manager?
Well, the manager role certainly has a higher ceiling, and I would be willing to take a small cut to come in at the manager level, just because the ceiling's higher, and then as we both know, just where we're at in Silicon Valley, the cost of living's high. Having a higher ceiling and a higher trajectory is very important to me. What kind of a pay cut are you thinking?
I'm thinking it'd probably go down to 90. 88, 90 would be the starting point for an entry-level manager. However, before you say anything, there are quite a few other factors that are going to come into play here that we haven't even discussed yet. So
okay,
we can leave that one on the table for now, since we've sort of hashed it all out and know what the options are.
Okay.
Signing bonus, relocation, and stock options were also some things in the offer letter as well. You were going to receive 1,000 stock options upon acceptance of the job. The relocation was $5,000 to help defray the costs of moving. Did you have any feedback on that as something you might want to renegotiate if you were to be offered the manager role at a lower pay?
Certainly. And then the other reason, just just so we're clear, or just so you understand my perspective on it, is obviously I've received offers from two other companies, Forcom, who is a competitor. They don't have the pedigree or the I don't believe they're going in the trajectory that Robust Routers is. But they did issue a very competitive offer at the product manager position. But Robust Routers certainly is the place that I want to be. That's the company where I've got an experience and I have a relationship with you and with some of the other members. So I would certainly be open to negotiating some of those other areas, especially the relocation. $5,000 does that covers merely the cost to move my household goods, and just to get to California. What it doesn't cover is any of the closing costs or anything such as that related to selling of my current condo or getting set up in a current place to live, where the company's at. So if there's a way we could get a portion of the broker's fees covered, that would certainly be more enticing.
Okay. Well, I would like to do anything possible to make sure that you're able to come here and not have to spend too much in relocations. And if your expenses incurred exceed $5,000, I'd be willing to throw in a couple thousand more to help make that easy.
Instead of a couple thousand more, could we do the because we don't know what the dollar amount is. So typically closing costs and fees on a home are covered in percentages. So is there a way we could cover 4% of the closing costs?
Well, as much as I'd like to say yes, I don't think that's reasonable. Like you said earlier, the cost of living and home prices in Silicon Valley are astronomical, and 4% on closing would be something far exceeding the $5,000 being offered just for relocation services. Instead of looking at this from a closing cost perspective, since buying the house that you want to live in is a very personal choice, but ensuring you are able to travel and get your items moved is something that you would be doing for this company. What about maybe doing $7,000 or $8,000 for relocation fees? I mean, I'd like to go ahead and put in print 7 or 8, but we can go up to 10. Depending on where you're looking at.
Okay. I think just with the cost of what it's going to, and the cost of moving, I do think 10,000 is going to be a number that's because I think we were kind of at far ends of the spectrum there, or opposite ends of the spectrum there, the 5,000 versus a percentage of broker fees. That's just the offer I received from Forcom, so that would be coming off of their offer. If you do 10,000 in the relocation, I would be open to that. What about as far as the signing bonus?
Okay. All right. The signing bonus in your offer letter, I believe, was $15,000, and that's paid as a lump sum within 30 days of you accepting the offer in writing. Are you asking if there's any wiggle room on that, or because you've been offered a job at one of our competitors and they were providing a higher signing bonus?
I'm mainly asking if there's any wiggle room on the signing bonus, since I'm looking at taking a pay cut on the overall salary. So the salary would, of course, be an annual savings for Robust Routers. So over the next couple of years, you would recoup the one-time payment of the signing bonus. So I understand the signing bonus is $15,000. If we could do $20,000 for the signing bonus, that would make accepting a lower salary offer in the low 90s much more easy. And then that signing bonus would additionally help defray the additional costs of relocation.
Mm-hmm. As much as I wish I could wiggle that room or wiggle that number up a little higher, I fought pretty hard to get the 15,000. It's very unusual that we have new hires come on with such a high signing bonus, and unfortunately, that's capping out. But with regard to why you're asking, and I do understand, to counter this offer by asking for the manager role, I know you're taking a pay cut, but there is an inherent value in that title that can't really be assigned a dollar value, because you now have potential for growth at a much faster rate, and the opportunity to increase your salary as well quicker, because you're starting out at the manager level versus the associate. And with that, I think the pay cut and then that signing bonus is, the signing bonus is, that's as sweet as I can make that deal.
What about as far as adjusting the stock options?
Yeah, that's definitely something we can look at. So you read the details on this where the timetable for vesting was 33% a year. That part was non-negotiable. But, if we're looking at 90,000 requesting the manager title, the 15,000 signing bonus, 10K in relocation, we could add a few more stock options there.
What does a few more mean? Are you talking the initial or the 500 after the first year, or?
So right now in your offer, it's 1,000 shares. We can make that 1,100 because you are taking the pay cut.
So if I was going to and again, I'm kind of comparing this to the market value of being at a company such as 4Com. I understand they're a competitor, so their offer is it's higher monetarily for annual compensation, signing bonus, and the relocation,
Mm-hmm.
And it comes with the title. I'm really willing to sacrifice all of that to be part of the Robust Routers team, but at some point I do have to make sure that it is a financial,
Mm-hmm.
a good financial decision for myself.
Mm-hmm.
If there is any way, I've just been taking notes as we've been discussing this. I would either like the stock options to increase from 1,000 to 1,500 for the initial,
Mm-hmm.
or for the salary to start at 92. That's still a $4,000 pay cut.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take the,
yeah.
I could accept the 1,100 shares at 92, or.
So the 1,100, we've already added another 100 shares to that. Now,
right.
I realize that you're comparing this to some other job offers that you have had, but as you're aware with the contract that we just won, that Robust Routers is not going anywhere anytime soon. There is something to be said for safety in a very solid, financially sound company, and that's where we're at right now. I don't think that you would be risking anything by joining us. I can see you here for quite a few years, and there's no worry of this company ever becoming insolvent. Whereas if you go to a smaller company, you don't know where they're going to be in 5 years from now. What does their cash flow look like? So yes, the offer might not dollar-wise be as much, but you are safer in terms of what your future looks like and having a steady paycheck. And honestly, with the name brand as well, you would be able to sell yourself and you'd have name recognition.
I agree with I agree with what you said. However, the counterpoint to that is because Robust Routers is worth over $120 billion,
Mm-hmm.
their shares are diluted compared to a company like 4Com.
Mm-hmm.
So if I get similar or higher stock options, it's essentially percentage-wise higher through that company. That's why whether it's on the salary end or the share end,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty important to me to start out, because again, and I understand to be coming at the product manager position. I still just have to make sure it's the right decision monetarily. And the rest of the benefits package, the time off, the health insurance, those are all fantastic. And again, I'm excited to be part of the Robust Routers team. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to graduating and coming to work for you now on the Terabit router side. That's just where my head's at.
Okay. I've got two options for you. We can do 90K salary, but I can't go any more than 1,300 on the stock options. Or we can do 92 for the starting salary, and then the stock options will stay at 1,000.
So just to make sure that I've got all my notes correctly, right now the offers at the product manager position with the Terabit router group at a 90,000 annual salary, with 1,300 stock options, or 92 and 1,000, and the 10,000 relocation and 15,000 for the signing bonus.
Yep.
Is there so what about as far as the employee review, when it comes to say two questions, the annual, the 500 share after the first year of employment, is there any movement on that, one? And two, when are the employee reviews scheduled? That's the one thing I didn't see in the offer letter, to discuss potential pay raises.
Employee performance reviews are conducted annually. However, you are always able to talk about performance reviews and salary raises. They don't have to happen at the end of the year.
Okay. And then is there a timeline or a timetable that we could commit to, or something, as far as the looking at the business development group or another group, if that's an area that I think I would excel at or be able to help contribute to the Robust Routers team?
Yeah, absolutely. If you come on and join my team, I'd like to spend the first 6 to 12 months really getting you set up, have solid footing, be very comfortable with what you do, and are able to assist the team underneath you. At that time, I think it would make sense for you to start maybe having a couple other projects with the business team, and we can start perhaps a slow transition. There's no guarantee that there's going to be a job opportunity over there, but it's worth a shot because you've got your foot in the door at that point and you can make connections. You'll be working with them. So that's my 2 cents.
Okay. Well, that all sounds great. And just again, so we're at the 90,000 salary, the 1,300 stock options, 1,000 relocation, and the 15,000 signing bonus. The last item is when would be the start date? June
1st, or as soon as you can get here. Only because we have a lot of planning ahead of ourselves, and it's basically crunch time. It gets really crazy here starting June 1st for all the fall and winter planning. So there's really basically as soon as you can start upon graduation.
Okay. The only issue I have with that, I'm going to Europe in May as a graduation president. So I should be able to make the June 1st deadline. I'm excited to start there.
Okay. Well, I think you deserve a good vacation after graduating. Good grief.
Yes, I agree. So
Okay. All right. So we'll keep the June 1st start. That works. And I know we had discussed the two versions here. Now I want to make sure that you have settled on one of them. There was the 90,000 salary with the 1,300 stock options, or 92 with the 1,000 stock options.
the 90,000 with 1,300 stock options.
Okay. And 90,000 starting salary, product manager, 15,000 signing bonus, 10,000 for relocation, 1,300 stock options. And we talked about, really 100% just diving right into this role, training, learning the ropes of the trade, and then maybe having a couple projects with the business team, see if we can get your foot in the door there, and a June 1st start.
Absolutely. That sounds fantastic.
So is that a yes?
That's a yes.
Yay! Oh, great. I am so excited you'll be joining us, Joe.
And, it's been exciting. I look forward to it.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I will see you tomorrow.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Okay. I stopped recording.